Okay, fam. So, as you know, the cycle came on a couple of days ago, and your girl just been wiped out. And so, I have not really been doing that much video recording, and doing that much vlogs. I've been doing a whole lot of sleeping because it's been much needed. But I just got back from taking mom to the airport and dropping her off. She's going to go see some family down south, so for Christmas. So I am now up, and it's really early in the morning. It's like 7 o'clock. I don't know, like 7 o'clock. And today we have to make and ship out our Yoni Steaming stools. So Yoni Steaming box. So I'm going to bring you on that journey as I create it and as I ship it. It is kind of large, and so it has like everything that I have to send in a kit basically can fit down into the box, and then all gets closed up together. So I'll show you how I package it. I'll show you everything that comes inside of it. It is a Yoni Steaming box for one of my Yoni Steaming certification students who just graduated. Yay! And so I'm shipping it, or it's about to graduate, but she's like at the last portion and she ordered it. So I'm getting ready to ship this box out to her so she can have it for her final exams and for her to start her business. So I'm going to bring you on that journey. And then I do have to go to the copier. Like right now I'm out of toner for my printer because we've been printing like crazy during the holiday season. So I actually ran out of toner. And while I wait for more toner cartridges to come in the mail, we're going... I think that was Ashley. Whatever. So while I wait for more cartridges to come in the mail, I'm going to go ahead to the printer in Center City, or around Center City. It's like, we call it University City. I'm going to go to that printer and get some labels printed out, and then I'll show you guys what I'm printing out and how that whole process goes. Like, you're going to get a full idea what it's like to be Yoni Steaming business owner today in this vlog. So anyway, let's just come along for the journey. Okay, so this is our Yoni Steaming stool. Now, all of the Yoni Steaming stools come with this really cute heart emblem. And the reason why I picked this as like our little mini, I guess you would call it like a logo, is because I wanted everybody to remember to infuse love into their womb. And that's a part of Yoni Steaming. Love into the womb and love into self. So it's all about self-care and nourishing. And so that's why our heart emblem. So this, if you ever see this heart, then you know that the person got their Yoni Steaming box from Yoni Love Herbals. And then another really cool aspect of our Yoni Steaming stools is that we have this hole here. It's a grip hole for you to be able to carry the stool. And then this hole here is if you want to use the like a electrical burner kind of option to be able to do your Yoni steams. You could put your hole through here and plug it up. So like some people decided they want to do like crock pot method. So you would put the cord through here and it could plug in, and this could sit flat against the wall. And so it's easy to carry, and it also has a hole for convenience. And as you can see, it's lightweight. Okay, it's not heavy. All of our boxes measure 14 by 15 inches. And so yeah, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the poly stainer on this pretty much waterproof set, so that the customer doesn't have to worry about trying to make sure that their stool doesn't get damaged and things like that as they're steaming, or like if they accidentally, you know, ding it or something when they're carrying it with them. This just pretty much gives a protection gloss on it. So as you can see, it's this like light brown shade, and I just give it a really good mix in case anything is settled at the bottom, and then I steam it. Now I actually make these by myself, and when I make them, I usually make like 4 or 5 at one time because they tend to sell really quickly, like on the site. And like with since we have the Yoni Steaming school pretty much, they sell a lot. I sell a lot of them because a lot of the students would rather just kind of get everything at a one-stop shop rather than having to try to go figure out where to get their Yoni Steaming box and things like that to start their business themselves. They would just rather get it all from me. So because of that, we tend to have to make a lot of these at one time. I'm going to try not to make a mess with this. And this can be messy. So that's why you see your girl got on a shirt that I really don't care about. It's all spotted up and stuff and bleached up. Because you will get, see what I mean? You will get messy during this process. So I'm going to apply the stain and then we'll be right back. Now at one point I used to outsource this work, but I didn't like the fact that I couldn't determine like the turnaround time for the Yoni Steaming stools. Like if I ordered it from like a woodworking shop, I'm not guaranteed to get the stool back when I need it. So I always like, you know, like to cut out the middleman as much as possible in my business, because then I can give more predictable turnaround times and things like that to the client that I'm servicing, or to the, you know, Yoni Steaming student who's doing a certification, because these boxes are available in my actual store, like in YoniLoveHerbals.com and in the physical storefronts and around the country, like for distributors who carry my products. A lot of them also have Yoni Steaming stools. So I tend to, you know, like to cut out the middleman with anything where it can't be really predictable in the business. And that's like one of my tips to all of my Yoni Steaming students, and also to anyone who may be watching this who is interested in either starting a Yoni Steaming business or doing any business of any kind. Cut out the middleman as much as possible. Therefore, you can guarantee your stuff based upon you. There was one time where everything that I pretty much offered was through a middleman. I mean, with the exception of herbs, but everything I pretty much offered was through a middleman, and it was like difficult for me to be able to guarantee turnaround times. So of course all my products are made in-house at our main headquarters here in Philly, but with, you know, with my staff and things like that. But if you aren't careful, you will quickly find yourself not being able to keep up with demand and even having issues with turnaround time, like I stated, as you're running a business. So cut out the middleman, find a way for you to be able to guarantee that your customers can get all of their stuff in a decent time frame, because it will just build a way better relationship with you and a customer, and also provide just a better feel, you know what I mean? Like a better feel, a better customer experience, shopping experience with you, and then you know, alleviate as much drama as possible. So that's my tip. All right, so now that I have applied the first coat to the entire outside of the box, I'm going to do the inside of the box. And then after we do the inside of the box, we start the timer and we have to wait for an entire hour and then set the second coat again. Okay, so we have fully applied the first coat to the box, and you can see that all the way around, and that's what it looks like in the front. So I'm going to let this dry, and while this is drying, we're going to make the top of the Yoni Steaming box. Okay, so this is the top of our Yoni Steaming stool, and it's still raw wood. You can see like the jagged edges from when I went to the woodworking shop. So I'm going to sand down all sides of the stool, and then we're going to put on the trim that we use, which is like a darker kind of brown, and then come back and also put the glaze on top of the stool on both sides. Let's do it. Okay, so the higher the sandpaper, the lower the sandpaper number, the less grain, or the more grain that it has. So the rougher it is, and then the lower the number, the less grain that it has. So we're going to sand down starting out with the 80 and then work our way down or work our way up to 220. Okay, so now that we have fully sanded both sides of our top, we're going to measure this siding that I usually put on because I just like the dark brown grain to match the heart that's on the front of the Yoni Steaming box. So I'm going to cut this to size, we'll nail it into here, and then we will put the top glaze or lacquer onto the whole entire top. And so I usually just go and make like a little indentation on the stick at the spot where I need to cut it, and I cut a little bit above it because when you're sawing, you're going to saw away at both sides of the wood, so you don't want it to be a little bit shorter than the actual size of the top. Okay, and so you can see that the length is here. When we measure it up, it's a little bit longer, which is perfectly okay because we're going to sand down this raw edge so that it will match up equally to what's here and take off the jagged edge. And we're going to do the same thing for the other side. Okay, so I literally take sandpaper, hold the stick on top, and just scrape back and forth. And as you can see, it smooths out the edge. Same thing to the other raw side. Now we're going to measure. Still a little bit long, so I actually can cut a little bit off of this so it can measure up a little bit better. So I'll do that and then I'll come back. Okay, so it measures up perfectly now, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so I usually put a nail in both ends, and then I will put the center ones in just so that the ends will anchor it. And then the center ones are just to simply like reinforce what I do on the ends. So we're going to nail this in. Okay, so now we have the nail in both ends. And I'm just going to continue to nail about 2 inches apart. So I'll add another 3 or 4 nails along this edge here until we're complete. Okay, so we have applied the full one side, and now we're going to do the other side. Alright, so we have fully nailed both sides. And now we will apply our top glaze and to both sides of the top, and then we will come back again and do a second coat to the main bench and then to the top again, another rail. Now all of our boxes get these slip resistant or I shouldn't say, well, slip resistant, but also like damage resistant tabs on the bottom. So I just put it into the corner, and it is sticky, you know, it's sticky, so it's there, but I still nail it in just as an extra precaution to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. And these are one of those nails with the flat edge so it doesn't scrape the floor. So I'm going to do that on all 4 corners, and then we'll come back and package it. Okay, so now our box has the scratch resistant pieces on the bottom on all 4 corners. The back is finished. The front is finished with our logo. And so we're going to package it now into our container. And I'm going to go get that box. Okay, so our Yoni Steaming boxes are 14 by 15 as I stated earlier in the video. So our shipping boxes are 16 by 16. And so we put bubble wrap at the bottom just to make sure, obviously, that it doesn't get dinged up in shipment. And I'm just trying to situate it. And then I leave a little extra layover because this is going to act as a barrier. This layer is going to act as a barrier between the top and the actual box itself so that it's not like clanging and banging as it's being shipped. Okay, so I usually bring this over and then do one more layer for the very top, and then that's why I tear it. And I love this one because it comes pre-perforated. So literally you just tear it down the perforation. Now inside the box, we're going to put our Yoni Love Herbals Yoni Steaming Business Startup box that we talked about inside. And then she also gets a Yoni Steaming pot. So we're going to put that inside as well. And now when we go to the printer, oh, you can't see. Here we go. When we go down to the printer, we actually have to place the book in the inside. So I'm not going to get it fully situated down into the box until we come back, so I can make sure that everything fits flush. So we're just pre-prepping it right now. So when I get the book, all I got to do is throw it in the box and put the tape on the top. So we'll put that piece here, and we're all set. I'm going to carry my taper with me just so I can make sure I can close up the box appropriately and have enough tape. Sometimes the post office doesn't have it, or they be acting funny about using their tape, so I don't have time for that. So we'll put that here, and then I will put the label on the top with her address and all the shipping information for her to be able to get it.